What is most common amongst all of us humans is hunger.
But just the math does not math.
I nourished my own passion. I wanted to do it.
What you did that every good entrepreneur should do is that you had your ear to the ground.
What I needed was money.
So
And that is why
18%?
18% profit margin.
Five. Welcome to another episode of More Bang for Her Buck. This is a show about money and women. And here's a question that has always made me curious, right? How is it possible to do business and also have an impact on the world positively? Is it such that every time you do business, it has to be only about making money? Or is it possible that you can do business with heart, that you can also have impact? And to answer all of my questions about this and all of your questions as well, we have with us Ayesha Khan, who runs an incredible project called Food ATM. There was a video about you that went viral because you provide meals to the lower income communities at 50 fils to 3 dirhams. And this is entire meals.
Absolutely, yes.
Welcome to the show, Ayesha. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, I have a billion questions for you, but I want to start by asking you, how did you get into it? Now, let me explain why I'm asking that question. I think a lot of women who are right now watching the show, they want to start businesses, but they feel that unless I'm sitting on a big pot of money, I have some 5 million in my bank account, or at least 1 million, there's no way for me to get started. But you are a standing example of how that's not true.
Okay. So let me begin with the some true incidents that have happened. Once when we got the Guinness World Record, there was a little party there. And when I entered the room, they said, see who walks in. A person who doesn't spend 1 dirham on marketing and the whole world knows her. But that's the truth. Yeah. I don't have a marketing budget at all. The flyer sitting in front of you, this is the only thing we ever got printed, nothing else. So to all those people, all those aspiring entrepreneurs, men and women, especially women, we don't need money to start a business. Now that's really, really odd to say that you don't need money to start a business. What you actually need is a very burning passion inside you, something that does not let you sleep. Dreams, you don't see dreams when you sleep. Dreams don't let you sleep. So if you have that in you, rest everything falls in place. Money is just a tool.
How did you do it? But talk to me about where you started from, because I know you tell a story of how you've known hunger, and that knowing, that knowledge is what has led you to build Food ATM. So where did you begin?
To begin with, like any other person entering UAE, I also entered for a big salaried job because I was a fresh IT engineer, infrastructure and security, that was my domain. And I had telecom expertise, being in India with BSNL for some time. So working with BSNL in 6 states I became a known face and a known person. When Do had to be launched, they wanted to pick 60 odd telecom experts from all around the world. I was one of them. So that's exactly why I came to UAE for a big project, big money, make it big and all that. After I enter UAE, I come to know that here's a place where there are more than 200 nationalities all working together and such harmony. It was beautiful. At the same time, I definitely saw people who were building this beautiful place, and actually nobody saw them. And I saw them. I couldn't do much about it, but all I was doing was I used to experiment making meals, which I didn't know how to cook, but I wanted to. And all that stacked up food is what I started giving them, my experimental meals. That is my first acquaintance with the lower income communities of UAE, the cleaners and drivers, gardeners, everyone of the society in Dubai. I was working in Dubai for 12 years. So it was Do and then RT and then municipality. Everywhere I had all these lower income people. That is where I come to know that my experimental meals were playing a big role in their life. So it was 12 years that I did this kind of experimental cooking for them and learning this community very closely, whose salaries don't reflect anywhere near our salaries, but their lives are exactly like us. They have dreams, they have pains, they have needs like us. But to address them, they don't have money. What is most common amongst all of us humans is hunger. We all feel hungry a few times a day, and when we feel hungry, we should eat something. As simple as that. Food must be healthy, clean, affordable. That is very simple. Even if I have too much money, I can't eat gold biscuits. I have to still eat food grains. So
Right.
that's very simple. That was the logic behind the whole project.
You saw this hunger, you saw this community of people who are doing so much for Dubai, but they are nowhere near the Dubai bling story that we hear. And then what prompted you to get started? Did you need a backing? Did you have to get a license? How did you navigate all of that?
Being in a very organized nation like UAE, it helps in many ways. In my case, being completely from IT industry and having absolutely no idea about food industry, I thought my 12 years of passionate serving the people out of my own kitchen was enough to form a food center. Again, I didn't want to make it a career because I was very well off. So I thought that let's make a food center where many Aishas can come and keep the meals and then let all those needy come and eat. At least that way, we'll be able to help the society and they'll get helped them. But then that's not how it works. So the Ministry of Economic Development Department explained to me that you're required to have a license, you have to have a brand of your own. This is food industry, Ayesha. It's not IT industry. The food, whatever your products in IT don't go into people's tummies. Here, things will go into their tummies and any mistake can make a large population
It's life or
sick.
death.
Yeah, they'll become sick. So with all that and having no idea about how to go about it, yes, what I needed was money to start a venture on my own. That's when I talked to my friends, my colleagues, my family members, and they all said I'm out of my mind because there's no such business. Who does such a thing? There's feeding people at a consistently low cost with the cost inflation happening even then. See, when I'm talking about 12 years, it was like 2005 end to 2018. I was doing it for free.
Right.
I mean, just as a passion. Then I wanted to make it a business. Again, in the business also, I didn't want to make big money. I wanted to be at service.
Yeah.
So I seemed to be a very weird person to everyone around me. That's when, like a good Indian, when we all save money and make villas back home and shops for rent and apartment, all that comes as a saving grace. Because I had made it and nobody in my family was responsible for that, I went and sold all that, brought the money back, and that way I nourished my own passion. I wanted to do it. I had seen hunger in my life. I knew what it feels like when you're hungry and you don't have money to eat. So I could understand all of them with the lower income strata or the community. I could understand all of them. So I wanted to pursue what I wanted to. And for that, whatever I had with me, I sold it.
Amazing.
I brought the money back.
Great.
And now I have food ATMs.
If there's one takeaway for me from that story, it's that if there's anything worth selling your land and gold and, to put it all in, it's your passion and it's your story. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll talk about how does Ayesha do it. So how does she make it possible? How can you make a meal for 50 fils when you can barely buy rice with that amount? We'll come back and talk about it. More bang for her buck is a really important conversation around women and money. And if you think that you can contribute, and by this I mean if you've got a case study, a story that you'd like us to discuss with our experts, if you've got a bit of research that you think we should include in the show, or there's an opinion that you think we should feature, we would love to hear from you. Do drop us a DM on Instagram, or you can just email us at info@brownontheoutside.com. Okay, so my big question for you is how do you do it? Because there's a lot of people who may want to set up companies like Food ATM, but just the math does not math. Right?
The math does not math. Okay. There is always how do you do it, but for me it was always why do you do it. And to all the aspiring entrepreneurs, to you, me, what should be most important is why do you want to do that business? If at all there is a business, or if it's a service or a product that you want to launch, why do you want to do it? If that why is sorted out, then everything is okay. So for me it was that I have to reach food to the tummies who need food and they don't have a big pocket. That was it. Then everything else looks small for me. Today, with 7 food ATMs and thousands of people being fed, with more than 50,000 at a Guinness World Record, and now that's again a 3 years old record. So we have proceeded further.
Right. Sorry. To get clarity on that, you're saying you have 7 different centers, and together you all feed 50,000 people.
More than that. Every day.
Every day. Okay. So how, help me with the math, because I'm sitting and I'm calculating and I'm like, okay, 1 minute, hold on. How does she get the rice? Where does she buy the veggies?
Every single person who comes to know the mathematics behind the whole thing always goes for calculation in dirhams. And we calculate in fils. Okay. Now, if in year 2024, somebody is sitting and making calculations in fils, then that person is going to be super successful. Because a person who understands the value of every fill will understand much more in life.
Are you able to get like these groceries from wholesalers, from
the whole statistics that we work on is way different from any food outlet. First of all, I tell my boys, we are not a food outlet. Then they always ask me, then what are we selling? We're selling food. I said, no, we are helping people. We are helping them with the basic human need, that's food. So in my case, it's not the menus that the food outlets print out. And then on the right side, there is those price tags. For all the food outlets, every 3 months, the menu changes. It's not the food. The left side is the right side that changes. So they tear off the old menu. They put a new menu with the price tags change. The same food, but at different price. That is what we don't do. What we do is we go in for what is affordable in the market because we are addressing hunger. We are not taste palates or taste buds. No, we're not that.
Right.
We are addressing hunger. So breakfast, lunch, dinner is the 3 meals per day. And then in between we have the chai pakoda thing also, the 4 o'clock snacks and all. Everything in 50 fills to 3 dirham. With an entire agenda of helping those who come to our doorstep and they don't have money.
Correct.
So we can't buy from supermarkets.
Okay.
We can't buy from hypermarkets. We can only get it from importers, from ports, from
Right.
importers, people who import into the country.
Interesting.
Our country in UAE does not have agricultural land to support a huge influx of raw materials
Correct.
locally.
Correct.
So everybody imports. We get it from importers. Because the value or the volume of things that we need. Let me give an example of rice bags. Each rice bag is around 40 kgs. I buy minimum 20,000 bags in one shot. So how many tons?
It's a lot of tons.
What? With every meal I give a water free. Okay. How many millions of cups? Every year, calculate that. With every meal I give a chocolate or a packet of chips free. How many packet of chips?
Yeah.
So everything now goes annually. So whoever we buy from, they all know Food ATM aa gaya matlab big bill. They all know that. That's why they give us a big discount. And they all know, many of them who are now working with us are supporting it as a cause. So they are not looking for any profit margin. The chickens, 4,500, 5,000 kgs per day, 5 tons. Namak, minimum 1 ton per day. In a month, 30 tons.
Yeah.
Salt, oil, liters. So for all this, I definitely needed money, but it was not that the moment I opened the doors of Food ATM, we were buying 5,000 kg of chicken.
Correct,
It didn't happen like that.
Correct.
2019, when I got the first trade license, the whole year was a failure. It was not just that I failed at 1 or 2 door knocking and then not opening. Every door shut on my face, not only 1 or 2. So the whole year, when I got license, it was like month of March. So March to December was complete failure. I think that was a time when I was a finalist in the GITEX also. Even that I failed. Somebody else took it. So there was no help, no business, only bills rolling up and all the visas, my boys' salaries, everything was an expenditure. So that little bug that I had kept aside for running the show, operational cost, was also now getting evaporated. Then comes 2020, by January, February, it was lockdown announced. All the lockdowns, the flights being cancelled and people staying back in the country with no work, is when now people started running behind us.
You know, when I was hearing your story, I thought that was a very interesting part, because I think what you did that every good entrepreneur should do is that you had your ear to the ground. You saw the market change, you swooped in and you said, okay, now you're going to need me. Maybe before you were buying 10 dirham meals, now you're going to need my 3 dirham meal. So I'm going to come in and fill the gap. So I think that's really important. I have a question for you. As an entrepreneur myself, who also wants to do social impact work, right? I'm always torn between profit and charity. It's like there's a part of me that wants to make money. I want to be profitable. There's another part of me that wants to do more good work. Where do I draw the line? How do you draw the line?
Honestly, there's no line that I draw at all. I only want to do good, bas. I don't definitely want to do. I always tell my children, when you run behind money, money might run a little further. When you don't, money runs behind you. So that's exactly what's happening with us.
Can I ask you something, Ayesha?
Yes.
Is Food ATM a profitable?
18%. And I can say this confidently because we have shown the calculation. We have shown the calculation to the President's Office of UAE. We showed every fill calculation to the UAE President's Office when they have visited us multiple times last year.
So
and
18%?
18% profit margin. And we showed them and we told them that this is business. We are not charity.
Good on you, Ayesha. Good on you. And I must ask this because I get asked this all the time. Do you have a partner, a donor, another person behind you doing this? Is this just
someone up there, up above the world so high is the donor and supporter. And I can't see him. He sees me. That is enough. That is enough. And that's exactly how it works at Food ATM. How come people say that every religion says do good and good will happen to you? I blindly believed it. People don't. Do good and good will happen to you. Good happened, yeah. Good happened. Entire 2019, when everything was going wrong, I started visiting food outlets just to see what they are doing, what others are doing. They were just tearing off their menu every 2-3 months and putting a new price list. That's all. So I used to ask them, Bhaiya, ye to wahi pakode hai yaar. Bhaiya, this is the same butter paneer yaar. He said, तो 5 dirham बढ़ गया ना, 5 ही तो बड़ा है. So I was thinking, भैया 5 ही जिसका budget हो, how that person is going to eat 3 times a day?
Great
so that's
point.
none of your business.
Great point.
But that was my business.
I think you have an insight into a world and a community of people who see money very differently from us. And I want to come back and talk about that. But we'll take a quick break. Thank you, Ayesha.
Okay.
I'm so proud, yaar. 18% is amazing.
Yes. And President Office को बिठा के समझाया हमने. एक fill का हिसाब दिया. They checked every single thing. मेरे बच्चों की स्कूल फीस, यूनिवर्सिटी फीस तक चेक हुई है. बैंक अकाउंट्स चेक हुए, बैंक स्टेटमेंट्स, एवरीथिंग. इट हैज़ नॉट गॉन विदाउट a radar. They are sitting on a global phenomenon. United Nations Environment Program ने हमें फीचर किया. UNGC न्यूयॉर्क. आई एम ऑन द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स ऑफ UN. किस लिए? विदाउट चेकिंग थोड़ी उन्होंने ये सब किया होगा. दे चेक्ड एवरी सिंगल थिंग. हमारे यहाँ पे मुझे अभी भी याद है, हमारी फैसिलिटीज़ में ना कूलर खरीदते हैं बिकॉज AC वैसे चलता नहीं. द काइंड ऑफ हीट दैट वी जनरेट, बाहर 60 अंडर 120 डिग्री. हम लोग इतने भट्टी में काम करते हैं. सो कूलर्स लेके रखे थे. दैट वन डे वन ऑफ द प्रेसिडेंट्स ऑफिस, एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑफिस पीपल हैड कम. तो एक कूलर का बिल नहीं मिल रहा था. एक कूलर का, नॉट द AC, द रेगुलर कूलर जो पहियों में चलता है. जैसे कूलर का बिल तो चाहिए यार, ये कहाँ से आया? यानी एवरी सिंगल थिंग दे हैव स्क्रूटिनाइज्ड. दे हैव इवन स्क्रूटिनाइज कि अगर बाहर देश से कोई पैसा आया है फॉर डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन, that somebody's mother was in Canada and her son's birthday was with the boys here. तो उसका बर्थडे का खाना सेलिब्रेट करना था. वो emails तक पड़े गए हैं.
Amazing.
कम्युनिकेशन कैसा. बैंक तो चेक ही हुआ है, बैंक स्टेटमेंट छोड़ा ही नहीं. They in fact directly went to the bank. They sat with the bank managers.
Good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you,
Yeah.
Ayesha.
And जब वो सब फिनिश हुआ, बोला यार you deserve an award. तो मैंने कहा नहीं यार, आप लोग आ गए, यही मेरा अवार्ड है. आप लोग the way it has been vetted by you, the president's office. और क्या चाहिए मुझे? अब ठोक बजा के दुनिया की मैं वाट लगाऊंगी. Because they should know that we are right. कोई अलग है इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो गलत है. अलग है, हम अलग है. हम पैसों के पीछे नहीं दौड़ते, पैसा हमारे पीछे दौड़ता है. हम अलग है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम गलत है. Because that is exactly what was happening. ये कर कैसे रहे कर यार तुम. पीपल आस्क मी व्हाट इज स्पेशल इन यू. मैं कहा डैम इट स्पेशल नहीं है. वी आर लैकिंग समथिंग. बाकी लोगों में जो है उसमें कोई हमारा स्पेशल नहीं है. दूसरे बिजनेस में हमें कमी है. हमें कमी है ग्रीड की. वो नहीं है हमें. वी आर नॉट ग्रीडी. इसीलिए
And you're seeing the gap, right? You're seeing the gap.
मेरे दरवाजे पे है वो लोग. 7 such locations जहाँ पे मैं हर रोज. आई एम नॉट अ पर्सन हु विल बी सिटिंग इन अ कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस. कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिस ही नहीं है. आई एम ऑलवेज इन माई फैसिलिटीज जहाँ पे एक कॉर्नर होता है मेरा. सबसे छोटी जगह मैं लेती हूँ. और मेरे रूम में अगर उनको जगह ज़्यादा दिखेंगे तो कुछ बिस्किट ला के रख देंगे, 2-4 तेल के डब्बे और चॉकलेट पानी सब मेरे पास भी रहता है. बिकॉज दे रन आउट ऑफ प्लेस. वेयर हाउसेज में जगह कम हो जाती है, कोल्ड स्टोर्स में भी, ड्राई स्टोर्स में. दे विल कम एंड कीप थिंग्स नेक्स्ट टू माई टेबल. दैट इज हाउ आई वर्क. आई एम हैंड्स ऑन. एक दाने का हिसाब मेरे पास हर फूड ATM का है.
That's so important. I want to take a second to recognize that because I think a lot of women, right, when they run businesses, they want to do like for me as well, I want to do this stuff in the classroom. I want to go and like maybe manage the hairstyling if I run a salon, but I don't want to sit and look at every dirham and where we spent and why we spent and what was the Xerox bill and what was this bill. But that's where the work is, right?
The moment you start outsourcing things or leaving it to others, then the business will derail.
Yeah.
Unless you're on top of it.
Every single bit of it. I'm going to take a really quick break and I want to come back and talk about how this community looks at money.
So we were shooting?
We were. If you're listening to us on Spotify or watching us on YouTube, but you don't follow us on Instagram yet, then please do. All you've got to do is search for More Bang for Her Buck or Brown on the outside and hit follow. All right, welcome back to More Bang for Her Buck. We're talking to Ayesha, who has, you say you meet over 50,000 people from low-income communities every day. Now, these are people who have anywhere between 50 fils to 3 dirhams to spend on a meal. I think there are a lot of people in Dubai right now who might be having a few hundred dirhams in their bank account, or maybe a little short of 100 dirhams in their bank account, and they feel like this is it. This is the end for me. I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I want to know from you, A, how do these communities see money? B, what can we learn from their frugality and the way that they see spending?
With the example that you have just given me, I just want people to have an eye-opener session. I would like to take you through a real example of a person who was sitting on the road, and he was using a bottle of water, a cup of water, and chapati. He had a chapati, or a bright summer day I'm talking about, and dipping it, and he was having it. So I went and said, Bhaiya, why don't you have some food? Sabji wabji or something. I'll get something for you. He said, nahi, main dal laya tha. It is too hot na, kharab ho gaya. So it's okay. And then he's dipping it in here. It has happened here in this country, and he was so happy. I learned it from him that the only meal that he had was a dal and a chapati. Chapati survived, dal spoiled. He's still happy. So what does a human being need? Are we asking that to ourselves? What? If I have 500 dirham, can't I have food? I have. I have not paid the rent. Fine. We can always go to a smaller place. What is it that you need in life? All the hype, a big place to stay, a lot of cosmetics, expensive cars, extremely expensive clothes. We have to always be good looking? No. What you need is good health, a good mind, and an objective in life. You don't need rest of the things. Once you're sorted and once you're with the basics, you're on the track. You will be successful. Everything else follows. Then the cars will run behind you, clothes will run behind you, and we don't need all that.
On an average, the person who eats at Food ATM, what is their monthly income and how does that monthly income get broken down? I'm interested to know what that budgeting is like.
It's very interesting. The range is 600 to 900 dirham per month. Okay. Let's divide. Assuming that the person gets 900 dirham per month, divide by 30 comes to what? 30 dirham per day. But he does not get that because they pay for the visas also. They pay for the Wi-Fi that they stay. Sometimes they even pay for their laundry. Okay, so that it comes much lower. Acha, more than that, the moment they get money in the very first week, at least 60% of that walks away to their respective countries. It goes to their families. Okay, that is why they are here.
Correct.
Because they want to support their children, their families, their parents. Yeah.
So money is left in hand.
So out of that 900 dirham, 60% is already gone. If it was 600, then even worse. Yeah. With that kind of a calculation, the mathematics comes down to very simple things. Morning mein breakfast is 3 dirham, lunch is 3 dirham, dinner is 3 dirham. Ho gaya 9 dirham. So that becomes 270 dirham per month. Big. Can't afford. So Food ATM gives 50 fills mein cup of chai, 50 fills mein badi naan khatai. Ho gaya 1 dirham. Budget mein. That's why 50 fills. So 50 fills may have a range of things. Why? Because we know in the first week of the month they will have 3 dirham meal. After that breakfast skip ho jata hai. So what they start doing is they're starting to compromise on their own health, on their own needs. That's what we don't want them to do. So we offer them, bhai hai na 50 fills, ye le le. Otherwise 1 dirham, pasta hai, noodles hai, samosa pakode, ye le le. And then we do something really nice, which I feel good is, there are so many people who don't know where to go and give food. We call all of them to Food ATM. Okay. And they all come to Food ATM, buy the food, and we disperse all the food out to those people for whom every next meal is a question.
Great.
That's by bringing a smile on their face. That's a win-win. Because the giver is so happy that the food has gone to the most needy.
Correct.
And the needy is so happy that 3 dirham bach gaya.
Amazing, amazing. That's great stuff. I think with Ramadan around the corner, if you've got a few extra 100 dirhams that you'd like to use, I think this is the best way that it can be utilized. Right. Thank you so much, Ayesha.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. I think this has been a great lesson. It's a lesson in many things. It's a lesson in how to make a profitable business. It's a lesson in doing good and making money don't have to be enemies of one another. They don't have to be polar opposites. It's a lesson in how to run a business and make sure that you're accountable to every last dirham. And it's a lesson in being able to use your time on earth to do a little bit of good and bring some joy and a smile to another person's life. I'm very proud of this show. It's called More Bang for Her Buck. It's a conversation about women and money. And if you think this is an important conversation, then do like, share, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend about this. We need all the support we can get. This is a show produced by Brown on the Outside. This show is produced by Brown on the Outside. A thank you to our production team, The Dark Room, our producer, Sarah Anand, research and intern, Hiral Verma, and on hair and makeup,